Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. OG friend of the fam, Antonio is here. We are the MCU Collective. We both saw Antman and the Wasp Quantumania. We have thoughts. This will be an all spoiler review. We got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. And ironically, we haven't discussed this at all. What was just like your overall thoughts on the movie?
Wow. Really, wow, man. It's just, we're going there. And I guess my first thought is Jonathan Majors is that guy. And it's about to be real. What
Okay.
about you?
The first time, because I saw it twice. The
Yeah.
first time I saw it, I was like, I really didn't know what to feel because
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I sat back, I was like, okay, I like the king of it. You know what I'm saying? I do like the familial aspects, and I like the mechanics of how the quantum realm works and how it's basically its own thing outside of all time and space. So it's that right there really was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's
I'm gonna get to that in a minute
I'm
about the quantum
like
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm feeling that. Like I'll be honest, I had some legit expectations going in, and they
Yeah.
just wasn't met at all. So I had to kind of like dispel those notions for myself
Yeah.
and not feel like too overly upset at what didn't happen and kind of focus on what they're setting up and what actually happened in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's but the second view, and I kind of settled in and I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. Okay.
Hmm.
I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing, the quantum realm is a wild and crazy place, yo. Like the
Mhm.
fact that it is a pocket universe within a universe that has multiple other universes in it, which is crazy to me because you got to put some things into perspective. Janet Van Dyne, when she first went down to the quantum realm, she was there, and then we're not sure like how advanced the quantum realm was at that point or whatever. And then everything happened. And when you see her in the quantum realm young, it doesn't look like how the quantum realm looked in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So it doesn't
Nah.
look anything like that. Kind of find out that's just a different section of the quantum realm that she was in, compared to that. So she like left that version that she was in the movie when she first met Kang to go to this part so he couldn't find her one bit. And you have all, and then too, then there's the pocket part of the quantum realm that is just straight up a time dilation, which we saw later on in the movie. That's where the ants fell into. And that's the
Yeah.
same thing that Scott fell into at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp while he was there being 5 hours, it was being 5 years. And that's, what I'm saying. So the quantum realm in itself is nuts. I really would love to see a movie based just off of how crazy the quantum, what I'm saying, the quantum realm is or whatever. Because you even saw it with Hank Pym. He was just like, yo, it's like a complete system. And he was just like, we had no idea this. And she was just like, yeah, y'all didn't look. She said, yeah, you didn't look further enough into the quantum realm. You only went through one level. Like, what? So yeah, so
Yeah.
that right there
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
crazy in itself.
Definitely. That whole part, I was like, wow. So there's more to this than just this.
Mm-hmm.
And even when at the end of Ant-Man 2, when he went down and they alluded to like the small city that was in that
Mm-hmm.
bubble down there, that
Mm-hmm.
was just one small part of this
Mm-hmm.
big small thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I that notion was like, woo. I was like, okay, so there's even more to explore. And
And
the
the
fact
and the
go
fact
ahead.
that Kane conquered all of them
I was about to
lets
say
you
this. I was
know.
about to say the same thing.
She conquered all of them.
These are the words of my mouth. Like the fact
Yeah.
that he was like, you know what? Yeah, this is all mine. And let's matter of fact, let's just get straight into Kang. So
Yeah.
so Kang was he was banished. They exiled your boy because your
Yeah.
was okay, which goes back to what we told you before when I said, look, watch Loki. You're gonna need to watch Loki before you
Mm-hmm.
watch this. And that was one of my gripes with this because they was holding our hand a whole lot. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? In this movie with exposition.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only real gripe I have because it's slowed the movie down at some points. I'm like, oh my God, I already know this. But I'm like, hold on, Rashad, you're not the average moviegoer. Some people really
Mm-hmm.
don't know this. But anyway, he was walling so bad. It was like, you know what? You can't be down with us no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was probably like one of the like four kings at the end
And
of
the,
episode
and the
six.
statue was
The
broke.
statue was broke. More than
Yeah.
likely, it had to be king. That king now, King the Conqueror. You know what I'm
Uh
saying? And he was just down there, broken. And Janet Van Dyne basically nursed that man back to health.
yeah. Mentally,
Mhm.
got him right. And the thing with that too as well. And the thing is, I kept saying to myself, what the hell did this man do to get banished from the Council of Kings?
That
And then
man started. That man started the
he
multiversal war.
started the multiversal war. He's the one that started it. That's what I was like. Oh, he's the one. He's the one that He Who Remains is like, hey, and even Miss Minutes talked about in the beginning, said there was a multiversal war that he was Agent X. He was the one that went out there and was like, you know what?
I'm on all this.
I don't like how y'all doing stuff. Wipe it all, y'all. I'm wiping out all the existence. And the other case was like, nigga, what are you doing? What are you doing or whatnot? And first mid-credit scene, you see the Council of Kings. Every
Yo,
multi-divisional version of Kang. And the very
yo,
first Kang you see is Pharaoh Ramen Tut. And he's like one of the kings that went back from the future, went back in time and conquered Egypt. It became like the pharaoh of Egypt and everything. And then he made a comment that made me be like, oh, I think I know what. He looked at the other variant of Cain and said, it was like, are you sure he's dead? Yeah. He was like, I bet it kills you that you weren't the one to do it. I think Kang the Conqueror in the movie wiped that Kang's timeline out. That's why he was like, I think that's why he was like, I bet that because you got to think about something like, why would you be that? And you saw the look on his face, like he was pissed that he couldn't be to
no,
do it. And
definitely.
that Kang, I'm not sure. I think people are trying to say that was the Red Centurion Kang
Yeah,
or
Scarlet Centurion. Yeah,
Scarlet Centurion Kang. And then you saw like one of the main Kangs, Immortus. He's one of the main problems. And like you see that it's a hierarchy because you even notice that Pharaoh Robin Tut, he bowed his head to that king. And my whole thing, I was thinking the whole time is, who is Prime King? Who is the Prime Nathaniel Richards?
that
Was
is
it
a really good question.
was it He Who Remains? Was it King the Conqueror? Is it one of those other two? Or what is it, Mr. Timely? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who we saw because the second Easter egg post credit scene was basically a scene from Loki season 2 that's coming up,
This
and
summer.
this summer, and I was like, oh my god. And I mean, just to talk about the Council of Kings, you saw different variants of Kings. You saw how happy they were, this and that.
Yo,
There was one you had to look real hard and you saw him, and that was Mr. Griffin. That is Kang the Conqueror when he has on like a suit, and he is in the comics the one who bought Avengers Tower. And if you go back and watch um Loki, I think
episode five.
episode 5, you see Avengers Towers there, but it says Kang Qeng. That's
Yep.
Mr. Griffin is in charge of that one. So I can't wait to see what happens with that, along with what's going to come in 2025 with the Kang Dynasty. It's about to get real. And also, too, I know we're jumping around
No,
in
it's
the
okay.
movie. I don't think Kang the Conqueror is dead. I think he just went down to another level of the quantum realm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially if we're using the same logic that got
Darren.
Darren Cross down there, then it has to be even them as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because it's the same tech that kind of forced him down. So all right, let's get to the movie.
Let's go into the
So
movie. Sorry.
so of course we see like we already know the premise of the movie because it's been spelled out pretty much in the in the trailers. So Ant-Man is like he out here getting his money, you know what I'm saying, doing speaking engagements, writing books, he just living a life. His daughter is upset that he's not helping out the little guy for real. She's out here trying to be like some sort of like freedom fighter. She got locked up for helping out homeless people and protesting,
shrinking a police car,
which is shrinking police car, which is very meta because San Francisco is the one of the most highest places to live, to my like income wise and like real estate. You know what I'm saying? And all that. And the homeless population is ridiculous.
And the homeless population was helping these were people who were blipped from the snap. And when they came back, they didn't have a home. To stay.
Yeah. So which kind of ties into Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's what they was talking about a lot, Flag Smashers. So it's all connected, guys. Gets her out of jail. They go back home, everybody's eating, the whole Ant-Man fam is there. And they're talking over dinner, and Hank's like, "Yeah, man, we've been doing some stuff." And then Cassie was like, "Yeah, we were working on some stuff. As you seen the trailer, say you were working on this little communicator, go back and forth in the quantum realms like a two-way radio." And Janet freaks out. I mean, she did the thing was like, "Yo, you doing what with who?" Oh, nah. She runs over there and snatches a cord out, and everybody's looking at her like, "Yo, mom, what's wrong with you?"
Right.
2 seconds later, they're being swept up inside the quantum realm, and then they are down there.
Yeah. And then too, before that, there was some new ants they had. It was like, these ants are building like a brand.
They're building their own society.
They're building their own society or whatever, saying they had going on. That even got sucked in and forgot almost about it. And that became a whole thing in itself. Yeah. And then they land in different parts of the quantum realm. And boy, oh boy, so, you see Cassie and what's Scott, they get caught and they're like outskirts parts of the quantum realm where they meet freedom fighters who basically were displaced because Kang, at the time, the Conqueror, wiped out their area and stuff like that. And they're all looking like, and they're horrified because they can't understand these people. And they're coming to find out they had to drink the ooze.
Drink the ooze.
Say, yeah, you just drank some of me. You can whatever. So it was. I can't remember that creature's name, but he was funny. He was like, "How many holes do you have?"
He was like, 7.
He says, "I wish I had holes," whatever. So they drink, they sip from him because he's like a gelatin type character, and they're able to understand everything that's going on with them. And then they're explaining like, "Yo, who are you? Y'all came from the same place Kane come from. Y'all some BS." And there was a guy there who was like a telepath who's like, "No, they don't know anything was going on down here." And it comes to a thing where they're just like, she one of the freedom fighters, she explains that the Conqueror wiped out a lot of these people places at home. This is where we are, and we're just trying to stay away from him, and we're trying to get away. But lo and behold, they get caught, they get found by, they get found, and mechanical organism designed only for killing comes in and starts to destroy everything. And mechanical organism designed only for killing is basically MODOK. MODOK is the acronym for that term. And we find out that MODOK is Darren Cross in this film. Darren Cross, that was in Ant-Man 1. He was the, the yellow jacket that tried to, kidnap Cassie, and they had malfunctioned the suit, shrunk down. His head stayed big. His arms.
When they showed that man body,
I said that. and it wasn't. And his body was like gelatin. It was almost like put the quarter in one of the machines as a kid. You get the little thing that had the little. It looked just like that. And basically, Kang designed this suit for this guy to basically kill or whatever, get his thing done. So that's what's going on with Scott and Cassie. And then we get to probably the funniest part. Go ahead, man. With Janet, Hope, and
Janet, Hope, and Hank,
Hank,
So,
yeah.
and let me be honest, this is one of the like storytelling tropes that I think needs to die, and that is somebody not telling the thing that needs to be told. This
Makes no
whole
sense.
thing could have been avoided
Mm-hmm.
if she just was honest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Say, look, yo, I know when y'all saw me down there, it was like, it was like I was just some sort of like wanderer, but nah, yo, it's a whole thing going on. Like, so which leads me to the next part. So we see this ship come over them, they're in a different part. The ship
Mm-hmm.
goes over them, like, yo, be quiet. And they're like, what the heck is going on? He's like, nah, we need to get out of here. So they went, it's me got to find the rest of them. She's focused on finding them and leaving. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know if she knows how they gonna leave or not, but that's she not telling them nothing. Like, yo, all right,
Yeah.
oh, this is the crap we talking about now? We talking about later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Focus on leaving. So she meets up, like they end up walking, and some people come through. She ends up knowing them. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, how you know them? Say, hey, we got to find a ride. So they found this
Yeah.
like space stingray thing. They
Stingray moth thing. Yeah.
fly on that, and they go like to this little city type joint. You know what I'm saying? And they go and they end up going into this cantina. I mean, like a bar, a
Yeah.
restaurant, like like a space lounge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
then we see none other than problematic Bill Murray, and he's playing the character named Krylar. And
Uh-huh.
for some reason, Krylar and your girl Janet, they used to yeah, he hit that a whole lot of times. Just by
Yeah.
vibes alone, we knew that. I said, oh, yeah. I said,
Yeah.
oh, he hit that, yo.
He
So
said, what is that? We had some wild times. He said, how wild?
I
And it was
said, oh
and my
yeah.
favorite was Hope was like, him, mom. She said, look, I was down for 30 years.
He
Women
said, he
got
said, he
needs.
said, he said he used to be charming.
He used to be charming.
So ever since I guess she dipped, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This dude has basically now just censorship, man. I
Yeah.
can't fight Kang no more because they be freedom
Uh,
fighters together. You know what I'm saying? And now he's like,
yeah.
shoot, let me go ahead and give in and get this money because because Kang is not to be trifled with.
Trifle with at all,
Yeah,
right?
so basically he calls up Kang and I mean calls up the people, Kang's little, troops or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and they try to get him. There's a little little chase scene. Their shenanigans ensue. There's this little thing that they're at the table drinking. It has like a little like I don't know, octopus looking thing,
That was
and like
disgusting.
was really reminding me a lot of oh my god, yo, like it's very Star Warsian.
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt, not even that, but on Andor, remember there was had the drinks with a little octopus, little like thing in it. People said it too. This is not my original thought, but they said this was the best Star Wars movie that Marvel ever made, and it's really like when you sit back and think about it, this
Yeah.
is definitely like a very Star Wars like movie. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
A lot of George Lucas elements in here. But anyway, getting back to so they had little drinks, right? And they're getting away. Your man Hank throws a pim disc at the drink. The thing, like it's like a huge octopus thing now, and grabs Krylar and basically eats that man.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too, almost everything is sentient down there.
Yeah.
There's
The
sentient buildings.
the buildings, yeah.
That ship they had was sentient to a certain degree.
What she
You know
said? He said that building's alive. He was like, aren't all buildings? like, no, they're not.
So there was a lot of like it just was this is very eclectic down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They did a good job conveying just how different this world is from any
Yeah.
other world that we ever met. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the scene on the ship is probably one of the funniest back and forths. She was like, he was like, hey man, so you and Krylar? And she was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, man, a woman had needs. And Hope was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then Hank was like, yeah, man, I had needs too. She's like, oh, dad.
Yeah.
A girl named Linda. You know what I'm saying?
Linda. Yeah.
So we did it a few times. That didn't work out.
Didn't work out,
So why not? It wasn't you, babe.
If it wasn't you, baby.
Yeah. So that was like that was real funny. Now the part that I like the most probably is when because because
She explains to
she
about
explains them she explains to them, what's going on. But getting back to Cassie and Scott,
uh
when they're with the rebellion fighters, they end up getting caught
hmm
because when I came looking for them. And this part in the prison cells explains to you just how much Kang don't care about nobody but himself. Okay? So this in three parts. One, Moto say, hey man,
ah
slam your man to the side. Say, hey,
he
don't
said
talk. You know,
he says you don't speak when I'm in the room. I said, damn. yo, yo. And he was like, sorry. It's like, you don't speak when I'm in the room. I was like, what type of Greek hazing was this going on
yeah,
here?
he was not for the games, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
So he's trying to tell Sky, so look, yo, I need you to go and retrieve something for me because I already know you got you got the pin particles, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I need you to get it. And he's like, what if I don't get it? And then he just hems your man up. And Cassie's like, no, stop, don't
And
do
then,
it.
and then
He said, if you don't do it, I'm gonna kill her in front of you.
I'm going to make you relive that over and
Over and
over
over
and
again.
over again. I was like, this is one of the dudes Thanos is trying to snap away for real. He was like, I was like, you know what? Thanos might have been right. One of the guys he was trying to get rid.
More and more. You know what I'm
More and
saying?
more, like what? This is one of the trash guys he was trying to get rid of. But continue, man.
Yeah, so he has, and the funny part was like he has a Cassie, has this girl horizontal in the air.
Just,
You know what I'm saying? It just drops her.
yeah.
So Scott ends up going to this basically. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's focus on Janet and
Okay.
your boy Kang. So
Uh-huh.
Kang is banished, and as she is, getting your man back up to health and everything, I'm pretty sure he hit that too.
Yeah.
It just really it felt like that too. I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah. I feel like
It did too.
she just didn't want to tell her husband
Yeah.
that I had sex with the sexy black guy
Yeah.
from space. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
I had a whole phase. What do you
Yeah,
want me to
yeah.
do?
No.
She's like, I had a quantum whole phase. What you want? I'm saying, I'm saying
That's good.
here.
All right, so she figures out like, all right, they're working together. He said, hey, I have a machine that can get you out of here and back home. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I need to get out of here too. So they
Mm-hmm.
end up fixing it. And the machine has what's called a Neuralink. You know what I'm saying? Neural as in brain.
Mm-hmm.
And she touches it while he's in there. And then she sees what Kang is really wanting to do.
She sees all the Black Air Force energy and menace to society that man is.
Yeah, he's trying to kill, murder, kill, slaughter everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold up. And he's like, so what did you see?
He's like, so what did you see?
and she is mortified, like, oh nah, I can't let you do this. He said, look, hey. I won't affect your universe, okay?
Right. That's what got me. He sat there and said, listen, we bonded. I still have my promise to get you back to your daughter, where when you walked out that door, you walk right back in. And he was like, you're not going to affect anything. He says, but I need to do what I need to do for these other mofos out here or whatever. And she's just like, I think she considered it, but then she was just like, yo, I can't do this.
You say you're gonna kill trillions of
Trillions of
people.
people. Yeah. And he was just like, yeah,
He's
no
like, fam,
remorse.
you don't know what they did to me though, yo.
You know, that's the thing, right? He was like, I don't know if it was that scene or later. He was like, you don't know what I've lost
Yeah.
in this whole thing. And that made me think again, what the hell did he lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened here? And I think that goes back to a certain character in Loki that we'll talk about probably a little bit later as well.
Yeah, yes,
So
yeah. And Janet does the noble thing and basically blows up this little like orb, this little energy. Basically,
the
yeah,
engine,
yeah,
the
yeah,
engine.
the engine of
She
it.
just takes one of the pin particles that
No,
makes
she
it
takes like
grow.
four of them
Four
joints.
of them takes to make it grow. Yeah, and that thing just gets ignorantly big, and he's just like,
He's like, oh.
oh. Yeah, and so that's what kind of ends their relationship.
But the cool thing was, he said because he got his suit back, that's what made him be able to make his own society down there and rule everything because he got his gear back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they was trying to fight him ever since. So fast forward back to Antman. Antman has to basically go down there and he has to shrink it down. You know what I'm saying? He got to go to the core of it, shrink the core down, but he has to basically dive into it and pass what they call the void and then go down.
And he has to keep shrinking, and he had to shrink down like what 3 times?
Like three times to get into it. And the cool thing about it too was, what was the phrase they called that Johnny? He was down there. What was it called?
Variations.
Probability field.
Probability field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and like basically every thought that you have is going to be manifested to you outside of your existence. So when I was like, yo, is Scott multiplying? I basically was right. You know what I'm saying? Because
it was different variants of himself just multiplying every time,
every
probabilities
time he had a different thought of what was going to happen. And it was like hundreds, thousands of them. So he was thinking.
Also, what was funny was he was like, Darren, where the hell am I at? Darren, MODOK. Thank you. Darren is dead. Darren, like he's full blown. I'm MODOK, yo. I'm not
that was
Darren
hilarious,
no more,
yo.
So you got all the Ant-Man. Like I'm the real Ant-Man. No, I'm the real Ant-Man. And yeah, so
yo, when that Baskin Robbins Ant-Man showed up, like
I was screaming. Yeah, because that is a variation.
And then somebody yells, "Hey, do you have any ice cream?" I was like, y'all stupid, yo.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about that scene is he eventually gets to the point where they're swallowing him whole, and then he hears the radio because Cassie and them, they get a hold on a track on him, and then he hears her voice. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, don't give up or whatever. So now now Ant-Man is like, all of them working together because they have one goal in mind, and that is to get back to Cassie. So climb up, and
they were like, help him up.
Everybody's helping them, and they end up getting to the top of it, and Wasp shows up. You know what I'm saying?
With her variations of her,
with her variations of herself too, and then they end up shrinking it back down to size. Shrinking back down to size, and Ant-Man was like, "Yo, I gotta get this to Kang," and Wasp was like, "No, we cannot do that." You know what I'm saying? So they had that little that little struggle, and then what happens after that?
Kang finds
then Kang show up.
Kang showed up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Kang shows up. You know what I'm saying?
Put that work in.
Yeah, Kang showed up. Took the engine and then took Janet too. You know what I'm saying? Walked away in a portal. Another cool thing too. He just be like, walk through. You know what I'm saying? So like, he's just so much a step above everybody right now because he has all
too much technology and just power, man. That
all
technology,
the tools.
All the tools.
What I'm saying? And even Janet said that. She was like, yo, he's got weapons and technology that are centuries past ours.
Yeah. That lets you know how real it was, like I said, with him. So what ends up happening is they decide to, hey, we got to get this stuff back. We got to get the thing back. We got to stop him. And Cassie breaks into the Kang pyramid fortress or whatever, and Kang is giving a speech to the whole quantum realm.
Whoa! Before we get that far, Cassie breaks out the leader of like the freedom fighters. You know what I'm saying? The girl, and like also like how Cassie was walking her. Cassie uses one pin particle, one disc, makes it do huge. Uses the
Mm-hmm.
other one, makes do small. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Flicks him, then boom, she goes, runs to the girl, says, "Hey, do you got a plan?" She was like, "Man, I ain't got no plan. You got one?" And homegirl was like, ready, ready. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Got everybody else out. They go to the, like I said, Kang is about to make this impassioned speech,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden mid sentence he just interrupts it.
Yep. And Cassie's just telling the quantum realm, rise up. This is the time right now. Let's fight this dude. And the quantum realm, they rebel. They come to, fight, and they're starting to lose. And then next thing you know, the biggest Ant-Man has ever grown comes onto the scene. And it's just, he helps destroy the thing, because what Kane messed up was he could have just got his ship and left and did the whole
Nah,
thing.
he's trying to
He
get
tried to
armies
take
and
his whole
everybody.
army and the fortress with them. So all of that's going, even with all of that, they could not stop Kane. And then all of a sudden, here comes good old Hank. Hank finds the ants, because the ants hit a time dilation where they spent one day there was 1,000 years. So their technology was whole. They created a complete a society in the quantum realm, and they came and they turned the tide, and they basically stripped Kang of his suit and did what they had to do. Janet was like, "Hey, I can get us out of here. Let's go." And there was losses taken on the best, on the saying, the side of the freedom fighters and everything.
Hold up,
My
like
man,
when
yeah,
when I gotta say, when Kane came out that building, he was mopping people. Like
yes.
it was not like like I'm a hurt. No, no. King
You saw
was
the anger that he was
killing
holding in the whole time,
people.
and he let that fury finally go and just wash them out. So they get to, the main part of his building. Janet opens up a portal to get them back to the house. They all go through except for Scott,
Scott.
because Kang comes. And Kang, and he does it, he pushed Cassie through or whatever to stop it. And he's trying to stop Kang. Let me tell you something. Kang ain't need no daggone suit. He was
Nah.
washing daggone
Yo.
Scott. Look,
He
he
be he
beat
was beating
the
the brakes off
brakes
that
off that
boy.
man, yo. I mean, he beat it, and Scott whole thing was like, I ain't got to stop you. I just got to make sure that we both don't make it through here. And all's that going on, and Janet basically comes through and basically hits Kang, and she throws expanding and shrinking particles at the little quantum little time thing. It sucks Kang in. Goodbye, Kang. And you figure, dang, they left there, they stuck. But nope, good old Cassie basically uses the machine to locate Hope and her father, bring them back. And when they come back to the regular world, Scott is like loving it, feeling like everything is cool, but he still has like, like Kang, I think, is still out there. And what did we unleash? Because Kang had told him, he was like, you get rid of me, you're gonna have bigger problems from the Council of Kang. And it goes to the question you asked. Who is the real villain of this?
For real. It's and it's funny because to me, and I posted this early on social, to me, the
Mm-hmm.
real villain of this movie
Janet.
is Janet.
Yeah, it's Janet.
Janet's the villain because she didn't want to tell she didn't want to tell her family that she was whoring about in the quantum realm. You know what I'm saying? Like that really suffered. They suffered because
Uh-huh.
of that.
Uh-huh.
They could have been this whole movie could have been not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But one person's unwillingness to be honest about their past, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like totally let basically set the events for this entire phase. And it's
Yeah.
funny because let's look at it like this. Ant-Man, very small, insignificant character. Even an ant in and of itself is kind of small.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the smallest character, the set of characters are setting off another thing. Because Ant-Man set off what? Infinity War when he
Yeah.
came back. You know what I'm
Remember what
saying?
Kang said? He was like, your powers are talking to ants. Like that's how dismissive of Scott he was. Like he was like, yo, he says, I killed the Avengers before. Are you the one with the hammer? That lets you know this man killed Thor in another timeline somewhere
Mhm.
along the lines, man. Like
He was
Kang
like,
is
man, he's like, yeah, after a while, they'll kind of get,
they
kind of get
kind of,
mushed.
all muddled up, get blurred together. All y'all kind of the same. Oh, we're gonna stop you. No, you're not. Or whatever, man. So
Hilarious, yo.
yeah, man. I give what would I say? I give this movie I give it a B minus, and only say I that is because it's building up for something bigger. I know some people have not liked the movie because of what I'm saying, and some things just didn't seem right to them. But I give it a strong B, maybe B minus, because it's setting up something big, and also because Jonathan Majors is doing a masterclass of acting. As far as you think about the different variants of Kangs that he has to play, and he's doing something different for each one.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same page. My score was a very strong B minus.
Mm-hmm.
If it for me, if it wasn't for like a lot of the hand holding that of course they have to do,
Mm-hmm.
we probably won't be doing any more of that now that we've used this as the establishing movie
Mm-hmm.
for all the mechanics and the logic that's going to go into the rest of them. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride from here on out.
Yeah.
Next up is
Guardians.
Guardians.
Yeah.
Next up is Guardians, and we don't even know when the Disney Plus stuff is dropping.
Yeah.
And they just told us like yesterday that the Marvels is coming in November and not in July anymore. So they
Yeah.
swap with Haunted Mansion Disney stuff. But anyway, I'm
Yeah.
cool with it because if it makes the movie better, if the
Yeah.
CG is better, then whatever, it don't matter to
Yeah.
me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
good
we'll
time, man.
see.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
We will see you all tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Last of Us.
Last of Us. So
Whew.
yeah, man.
All right.
So
Hopefully, I won't be, Rex. I didn't do no
yeah.
social on that last episode. It's too sad. All right, yo.
Yeah. All right, man.
I hit you guys up next time, man.
Peace out, everybody.